Hi guys. If you are a student and you're planning on moving to the UK, you'll know that you're going to have a million things to do on your checklist. Now, add to this the stress of moving to a new country, completely new, with its own rules and its own regulations, most of which you don't know, and the fact that you might have to do this all by yourself, all alone for the first time. It's bound to be really, really stressful, right? Which is exactly why in today's video, I'm going to give you a checklist of everything you need to do once you move to the UK so that your transition can be as stress-free as possible. In case you're new to my channel, my name is Ashika, and on this channel we talk about moving to the UK, whether you're a student or a working professional or even a dependent. So when you come to the UK for the first time, it's going to be a lot to take in. So depending on which season you get in, if you come during spring or summer, you're going to be so taken aback by how beautiful everything is, because even right now, all the flowers are in bloom and they're absolutely gorgeous. And if you move to London by any chance, it's just the allure of being in one of the most beautiful and one of the big cities in the world, right? There's a lot to take in. In all of this, it's very easy to lose the plot and forget the actual things that you need to be doing as soon as you move to the UK, right? There could be some really, really important things that completely slip your mind, which is why we have today's checklist. So one of the biggest challenges with moving to any new place, and the UK as well, is accommodation. And believe me, it can be incredibly stressful, because your house or your room where you stay is where you're going to come when you want to escape from college, when you've had that really difficult day, or when you're just missing your friends or your family and you just want to hide out. So where you stay is extremely important. Oh, and when you need to study, you need the perfect environment to study, to nail down those exams that are coming, to nail down those projects. It's really important to have a really good space to live in. Now, if your college provides it, you have the option of living on campus or probably looking for accommodation with your friends. But when you first move to the UK, it's a huge hassle, if you get what I mean, because you don't know anything here, right? You don't know where you're going to live, what the places are like, what the rents are going to be like, what the rooms are going to be like. You don't know any of those details. Plus, there's going to be a ton of other things you need to figure out: how close it is to your uni, how to get your laundry done, how to get a Wi-Fi connection when you move into the house, because you'll probably have to take a fresh connection, how to pay utility bills. It can be a really, really long list, and we've all heard those stories, right, of the scary landlords in the UK. Yeah, so the whole thing can be really stressful, which is why if I were you, I would honestly prefer to sort out my accommodation before I get to the UK, so this huge weight is taken off my shoulders. One such option you'd want to consider is Amber Students, which provides you with some really great accommodation options across the UK. Not only do they have really, really good looking rooms, but they also take care of your Wi-Fi, they take care of all the utility bills, they take care of your laundry, and all of this just frees up your time to focus on more important things. Oh, and did I add, in case you're not really sure and you feel a little unsafe moving to a new country for the first time, all of these properties also have CCTV. Now, the good news is, if you're coming from a different country, you can go ahead and book these rooms right from whichever country you are in. You don't have to wait to get to the UK, and all of it will be sorted before you get to the UK. And here's the other thing: if you book using a MasterCard, you can get an Amazon gift voucher for $100. And if you're just moving to the UK, there's going to be 100 things you want to buy, right? So that gift card's going to come really handy. Now, if you'd like to know more about this offer, all you need to do is head over to the description box below and click on this specific link and fill out the personal assistance form. And it is guaranteed that the team will give you the best sort of guidance possible and help you get all of your answers right away. Now, something else you'll need as soon as you reach the UK is a local SIM. Do not make the mistake of buying a SIM from the airport, because they can be really, really expensive for absolutely no reason. They're just honestly going to rip you off. So what you need to do is download maps in advance and download the map to get from the airport to whichever place you're going to, your hotel or your accommodation, wherever. And once you get there, drop off your bags, carry some form of identification, and head over to a high street or the closest mall, and you'll honestly find your shops there. you'll be able to get a SIM and apply for a SIM right away. So don't bother buying one at the airport. If you are lucky, you might actually get one at VFS itself, because when I was traveling, I got a free Lebara SIM which was valid for a month at that point, and that was absolutely great. But in case not, you can always do this. Another really great provider is Smarty. So Smarty has some really good deals on mobile plans. Now if you want to know more about this, all you need to do is head over to the description box and you will find all the details there by clicking the link. But my strong advice is, before you pick a provider, what you should do is find out what the coverage is like in your area, because not all the areas in the UK have uniform coverage. A lot of areas don't have 4G or 5G. So you'd want to check what the connectivity is like before you do that. I've added another link in the description box. All you need to do is enter the postcode of where you'll be staying or where you will be spending most of your time, and check what your network is like for most of the network providers. It should help you make a better decision. The next is your BRP. So when you move to the UK, one of the most important pieces of documentation you will have is your BRP. Your BRP is basically your biometric residence permit, which states that you are eligible to live in the UK for the duration mentioned on your card. It's like the Indian equivalent of an Aadhaar card, if you know. Your university should generally tell you whether you can pick it up straight away from your university, or whether you need to go to the post office and pick it up there. So do remember to check with the admissions team when you are moving to the UK where you need to pick up your BRP from, because it's extremely important, like I said. In a lot of cases, if you need to get anything open or any official work, they will ask you for your BRP, so you need to have this. The next thing you will need is your NI number, or your national insurance number. Now here's the thing, if you plan on working in the UK, you will require an NI number or a national insurance number. You don't need it to get a job, but you need it to get paid. So I'm assuming a lot of you would want an NI number because you probably come to the UK and take up a part-time job. In that case, you will need this. So you'll need to apply for it once you come here, as long as it's not already mentioned on your BRP. If you're a student, it's highly unlikely that it's going to be mentioned on your BRP. So all you need to do is head over to the link in the description box below, click on the link, and it'll tell you how you can apply for an NI number. You would need your BRP, your passport, and some passport pictures in a smartphone. It's a very simple process to get this done. And once you're done filling out all of the details, they will email you back and tell you whether they need any more details from you, or you just get your number in some time. The next thing you need to do is open your bank account. You would have come with some cash and some cards from whichever country you're coming from, and you'll realize that the international charges keep getting racked up over a time. So you need to get a local card as soon as possible. Now, here's the thing. You can either go with the more established traditional brands which have offline stores, like an HSBC, but I would recommend you reconsider. When we moved to the UK, our experience with HSBC was horrible, to be polite. And they just made us run from one place to another. They made us wait for extremely long times. And there was a lot of fuss over nothing, if you really ask me. So we needed to get that because we needed one HSBC account. But the next account I opened was with Starling Bank, which is a new age bank. So you have a lot of new age banks here, which are digital banks. They don't really have physical branches anywhere. There's a bunch of them. There's Starling, there's Revolut, there's Monzo, and there are lots of others like this. And I actually managed to open my Starling Bank account in like 10 minutes, and all I needed was my BRP, my passport, and an internet connection that was working in my house. Now, in all fairness, the only flip side of having an account with a Starling, for instance, is that when I had gone to a couple of ATMs the last time, I think 3 or 4 ATMs didn't accept my card. And finally, the irony of the situation was that I could only withdraw money from an HSBC ATM. So if you get a new age bank, you should check whether this card is going to be accepted at most ATMs or not, and plan your trips in advance and plan your withdrawals according to that. And in a lot of cases, they will also ask you for address proof. So do remember to keep something with you, either rental receipts or utility bills. Utility bills is your best bet, to be honest. Now, the next thing you need to do is register with a GP. And the irony again over here is that I myself didn't register with a GP for about a couple of months after we got here. And then finally somebody wasn't too well, and we realized we should have not procrastinated and we should have registered earlier. But here's the thing, the process is fairly simple. Once you have your accommodation nailed down, you just need to look for all of your close by GPs, look at the reviews on Google for the GPs, narrow down on whichever you like, get in touch with them, call up, say you want to register. There's a bunch of forms you need to fill out. And if it's your first time and you don't have an NHS number, when you apply at the GP that you're interested in, they will apply for your NHS number. So that's something you don't have to worry about. They'll give you that number. And you don't have to pay any consultation fees, which is the best part, because most healthcare is free in the UK. Now, the next thing you need to do is sort out your travel. If you don't stay within walking distance of your college, you're probably going to need a travel card. If your college is in London, you can get an Oyster card, which basically gives you 30% off on all of your trips. And it's a much cheaper option than a pay-as-you-go. And it helps you travel on most forms of public transport within London and a few areas outside London. Now, if you're traveling by train and not by tube, you can get the 16 to 25 rail card, which basically is £30 for the entire year and saves you about 1/3 the cost of the actual amount. And then we have food, which is going to be one of your biggest challenges. I would suggest that as soon as you come here, you look for your closest Indian grocery shop and you buy all the required items if you think you can manage to cook at home every day. So you'll get your pressure cookers here and you'll get all of your Indian masalas and you'll get all of the vegetables that are required. Now, in case cooking isn't your thing, there are some more options. There are apps called Olio and Too Good To Go, which basically connect you with restaurant owners who are looking to get rid of leftover food. They just sell it at a discount on these apps, so you can get really lucky and get really delicious food for a discounted price using these apps. Another thing you can consider is if you have a supermarket close by. Almost all supermarkets have a section which has a reduced price, and these are all items which are going to expire in 1 or 2 days. So if you are looking for food for that day specifically or the next morning immediately, you can just head over to these sections and pick out really cheap food from there. Now, believe it or not, if you stay in an apartment, and usually in or around London, you might even find people who do home catering. So like the Dabba Wala system in India, people can actually make food for you and you can pay for it on a weekly or a daily or a monthly basis or whatever. So that's really good if you don't enjoy cooking and you just want Indian food to be delivered to your house or whatever cuisine you're looking for, and if there's somebody in the neighborhood making that, great. And finally, especially if you're in London, there's a bunch of food markets that have some really great food stalls, and they're relatively cheap if you look at it. So lots of variety of food and a small price tag. So if you're looking for something on the go, you can head over there, or you can head over to your kebab shops and your doner shops and pick up a roll. There are a lot of places where I've even seen Indian rolls being offered, and they have lassi and an Indian roll, so that's a really good takeaway while heading home after uni. Now, remember the part earlier where I had mentioned that you would need a national insurance number if you're planning on working here? Well, a lot of students that come to the UK take up part-time jobs to help with smaller expenses because it's known to get really expensive in the long run. If I were you, I would want to know how exactly to get those part-time jobs, what jobs pay the most, and how much they pay. Now, if you'd like to know all of these details, it's very simple. All you need to do is click on this video for all the details.